Hello, good afternoon. It is so good to see you all. This is our Gingerbread Nativity bake-along. And I guess, to be honest, this is kind of where Christmas begins for us, isn't it?
Sure.
We're really excited about doing this, and we hope that over the course of this bake-along, by the end of it, you will have been able to make some fantastic gingerbread figures that look a little bit like that. And what we're going to do, at least what we're going to try and do, hopefully, as we go, is to tell the nativity story to you using gingerbread figures. But we'll see how we get on. Well, we should introduce ourselves, shouldn't we? So people know who we are. We are chefs Sarah and Mark, and we're going to be helping you to make the gingerbread men today. You know, I kind of thought, with all these people watching, I sort of thought Sarah and Mark doesn't sound particularly impressive.
Bit dull.
Yeah, exactly. Not very exotic.
No.
And I kind of thought, actually, Italian chef names sound far more impressive and exotic. So I came up with some Italian versions of our names. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah, definitely.
You do?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to be a chef Marco Italiano. And this is chef Sara Spaghetti. Marco Italiano.
Why do I get spaghetti?
Sara Spaghetti. You know what, I thought you could all each come up with your own Italian chef names if you wanted. It's really easy. Just take your name and then add on to the end of it either Ilini or Iano. Okay, so maybe if your name was Joshua, as an example, you might be Chef Josciolini.
Nice.
Or if your name was Olivia, maybe you'd be Chef Oliviano. Okay, so if you work out your exotic and impressive Italian chef names, and then we can get started. You know, kind of think that the names will end up sounding a little bit like something you might order off an Italian menu at a restaurant.
Or like a type of pasta or something.
Exactly, yeah. Like I'll have the chicken and ham Josciolini and the pizza Oliviano, please. It sounds a little bit like that, doesn't it?
Sounds good.
Anyway, hopefully you've got your names. Hopefully you're ready to be a chef for the afternoon and join in with our baking. We haven't done the hats.
Perfect.
Have you got a hat? A chef's hat.
A chef's hat.
Come on, we need chef's hats.
Okay.
So here we are.
Mine's
So now not only do we, oh, mine doesn't fit.
Mine doesn't. Mine's broken.
Not only do we sound like Italian chefs, but we look like them. You know, mine doesn't really work either. So we scrap the hats. So let's forget about the hats. We won't worry about the hats. Well, you know what, the first thing you have to do when you're going to be involved in some cooking or baking, well, let me ask you, do you know the first thing you have to do? Let me give you a clue. It's something that we've got very good at doing over the course of this year. It's something that we've done a lot. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Go on, why don't you tell everyone?
We need to wash our hands.
Exactly, we need to wash our hands. I'm going to go and do that now. I'm going to wash my hands. Why don't you do the same? And Sarah will then, sorry, not
What's
Sarah,
her name?
Sara Spaghetti.
Something.
She will then make sure you've got all the ingredients you need. So everyone, this is your moment. Wash your hands.
Brilliant. Well, while Mark is doing that,
Happy birthday to you.
I was going to try and run you through the ingredients, but it's good to sing happy birthday. I'm just going to plough on. So you will need some brown sugar, 175 grams of brown sugar. You're going to need one egg. Here is one egg. You're going to need 350 grams of plain flour. You're going to need some golden syrup, 80 grams. Or I tend to just do 8 big blobs. Some mixed spice or ground ginger, or whatever flavouring you'd like to add to your gingerbread men. Ginger, a little bit of bicarb, so I think that's a teaspoon of bicarb, and then some butter to make it buttery, 100 grams of butter, and then any icing bits. You might want to make your own icing. You might have cheated or done the sensible thing and bought some icing pens. And some cutters, so whatever cutters you've got to make your gingerbread characters. And if you haven't got cutters, you've only got round ones, then don't worry, we can make them with round ones.
That's all right, we'll show them how to make them. If you haven't got the full gingerbread cutters, we'll show you how to make them without, so don't worry at all about that.
Perfect.
Okay, how are we getting on? Are we ready to crack on?
Oh no, you've got to be yolking, not the egg yolks.
Shall we start?
Oh no, let's crack on.
What are we waiting for?
Oh,
okay,
no,
come on.
Enough. Right, I think we should start with our story.
Enough. Yeah, cool. We'll start with our story, shall we?
Yes.
Well, we're going to have a couple of scenes to help you to follow the story, and we're going to start with our first scene to introduce the story to us.
Perfect. Let's get our scene. Here we go. So I think we're going to start at the very beginning. And Mark, you're going to start us off. So this story can be found in the Bible, and we're in the book of Matthew.
Well, let me read you what it says in Matthew chapter 1, where we read, and this is how the birth of Jesus came about. Well, what happened? How did it begin?
Okay, well, we started with a girl named Mary. So here's Mary. She's looking very fancy, right there, in her frock. And wait there, she's got very big eyes. Can you see her eyes? Woo!
Well, if that's Mary, then here we have Joseph. He's the guy with the spiky hair. And we're going to put Joseph here.
And Mary and Joseph were engaged to be married, so that's very exciting. And they were looking forward to being married, but there's a surprise turn right at the beginning of our story. An angel appeared to Mary. Oh. Here she comes. She's flying in.
That is an awesome angel. So the angel came to Mary. She must have been pretty shocked and surprised by that.
I think, judging by her face, she was pretty shocked and surprised.
Why did the angel come to Mary? Oh, careful with
Sorry,
Mary.
Mary.
Why did the angel come
start.
to Mary?
Well, the angel appeared to Mary because she had a message from God.
Oh, you know, I've got it right here, that message in the Bible. Shall I read to you what she said?
Yes.
This is what the angel said. Don't be afraid, Mary, because God is pleased with you. Listen, you will become pregnant. You will give birth to a son, and you will name him Jesus.
Fantastic. So the angel's told Mary she's going to have a baby. It's going to be God's son, and the name to give it. That's a pretty spectacular start to a story.
That is an amazing start. You know, I can't wait to see what happens next. But I wonder at this point, should we get on with the baking?
Let's do it.
The children are going to be keen to make some gingerbread.
Okay.
Right, so you're going to need to get all your ingredients together. And we're going to start to make our gingerbread. So what's the first thing we need to do?
Right, so you need your scales to weigh out your ingredients. You may be super organised and have already weighed them out. We haven't, so we're going to quickly do that. We're going to start with everything that needs to go in a saucepan.
Okay, cool. Yep.
So we need 100 grams of butter.
Now, while the children are weighing that out, it's really important that you've got a grown-up with you, because some bits you're going to need to use the oven. So maybe grown-ups at this point, you might want to preheat the oven to what temperature?
Oh, that's a good question.
180?
180.
Preheat the oven to 180 while we're measuring out these bits. Let me do that.
So put the butter in the saucepan. Then we need our syrup. It's 80 grams if you have a way of measuring syrup in grams. I don't, so I'm just going to do 8 big puddles in my saucepan. In fact, Mark, do you want to do 8 puddles?
8 puddles? How big is a puddle?
Well, you know, just like
8.
Like, I don't know.
There's one? Is that about right?
No, bigger puddle.
Bigger?
Than that, yeah.
Whoa, so we need
like
a lot
puddle,
of syrup.
A puddle you could drop in.
2,
Perfect.
3, 4.
While Mark's doing that,
5,
I'm going to weigh out my brown
6,
sugar. I need 175 grams of brown sugar. I'm going to chuck that in my scales. So I hope your weighing skills are...
How's it going? How many grams of brown sugar is it?
175 grams.
175. And that's just normal brown sugar, is it, you're using?
It's like soft brown sugar.
Okay.
Oh, I've gone too far. Wait there. I'm going
Does
back.
muscovado sugar work equally
very
well?
posh.
Oh, that's good.
Sounds very glamorous.
How's that look for about the right amount of syrup? Can I just show the camera? So if you're
Yeah.
not sure how much syrup, it will look a little bit like that much in there. So just enough to kind of cover the bottom.
Because I always think measuring out syrup in grams is tricky. So once you've got those 3 things, so butter, 100 grams of butter, 175 grams of brown muscovado sugar, or just soft brown sugar, and 8 big dollops of syrup, or 80 grams of syrup, you need to get to the hob.
Okay.
So you might want to ask your grown-up to do this bit, because this is hot, so don't touch the hot oven or hob or saucepan, and you just need it on a medium heat so it slowly melts, and you don't want it to bubble and burn basically. So just
A
gently
medium
heating
heat. So I've got it on a high heat, so I need to turn it down a bit,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So
And
keep
it's
stirring.
the
Oh, you might want to,
oven.
here you go. If you chop up the butter, it will melt quicker.
Oh, okay, I'll do that with the spoon.
Okay, perfect.
Just that that works.
While Mark's doing that, we're going to measure out our dry ingredients. So we're going to need our flour. So we're going for 350 grams of plain flour. So let's get tipping this in.
So maybe if you've got different people doing this at home, maybe one person can be helping to melt all the ingredients on the hob, and the other person measuring out the dry ingredients.
It's a lot of flour. Do you remember the flour game we used to play?
Oh yeah.
I reckon you could make one of those with all this.
You get it sort of covered on your face.
350. Oh, I've gone a bit over.
Yeah, this is taking a while to melt, but it's if you chop up the butter, it kind of.
Yeah, if you chop the butter, it will melt faster. So 350 of flour. So we've done our flour. Whoops. That was the sugar pot. So let me take that out. There we go. Then you need a, let me see, a teaspoon. So that's your small teaspoon of bicarb. So I'm going to add my teaspoon of bicarb.
I've just turned my heat up a little bit here,
Okay.
if that helps, because it just makes it sort of melt a little bit quicker.
And then you can use 1 tablespoon of ginger and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, or you can just use cinnamon if you've just got cinnamon, or a mixed spice, or whatever it is that you want to add in for your flavour. If you don't like one of those flavours, don't use it. Use something that you really enjoy the flavour of. So I'm going to put in my ginger and my mixed spice. I'm just going to chuck that in.
Am I supposed to keep stirring here?
Keep
Do
stirring.
this, yeah, just keep
That will
stirring.
help it to melt quicker if you stir it. Okay, I'm going to get my sugar lid back on my sugar. Perfect. Then you're going to need your egg in a minute. So when your saucepan sticky mix has melted,
It's nearly there.
yeah, perfect. So you should have 350 grams of plain flour in a bowl, 1 teaspoon of bicarb, some mixed spice or ginger or something that you like the flavour of, all in your weighing, ready to be mixing with what Mark's doing.
Oh, I'll
How
tell
are
you
we
what,
doing
this
over
is
there?
it's looking good. It's making me feel hungry.
Okay.
So are we going to be able to eat the gingerbread, by the way?
Definitely. That's the whole
Excellent.
point of making it.
That's what we like to hear.
It's the eating at the end. Okay, how are we doing?
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty much ready.
Just about
Last
done?
bits to melt. It's
Okay. So give it a good mix if you're on the hob, and that will help the butter to melt quickly, and then we're going to mix the two things together. So all your flour and your dry ingredients are going to be mixed with your sticky stuff in the saucepan.
okay. I think we're pretty much ready with this.
Perfect.
Shall I turn the heat off?
Turn the heat off. Maybe get your grown-up to bring it over because it's hot. So
Shall I
be
show-
careful.
Shall I show people what it looks like?
Well, sure.
Can I try and show you what it looks
I
like?
think Mark's very proud.
See if you can see it. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
Okay.
Bellissimo. Looks amazing.
When you pulled it off the hob, you need to stir it to try and cool it down a little bit, because otherwise, when you crack in your egg, you're going to end up with scrambled egg gingerbread men, and that is not pleasant.
We
So-
need a hot mat here, don't we?
Yes. Good job. So give it a good stir. That's it.
Is that good enough?
And kind of like lift it so the air gets through it to cool it down a little bit. Perfect. So just give it a minute to cool down.
Can't work this cooking.
Yes, I'm impressed you remembered to preheat the oven, because I
Oh,
forgot
my
that.
goodness.
So good job.
So the idea is to let it get a little bit cool
A
before you
little
add
bit
the
cool
egg.
because we don't want scrambled egg in our mix. We
So
just
if
want
it's
egg.
too hot, the egg will cook when
Correct.
you put it in.
So we don't want to cook an egg. That
So
would
what
be
do you
grim.
reckon? Is that about right?
That looks about right. So I'm going to crack the egg in, and I'm going to get Mark to stir a lot. So if there's, if you've got your grown up, then get them to hold the saucepan while you kind of stir it in.
Can I crack the egg?
Okay.
The egg cracking is the best part of the cooking,
It's like
isn't
having
it?
a child helping me.
Okay, here we go. I'll try not to get any shell in.
But keep mixing so the egg doesn't cook. Go, 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 go. Stir!
We're all in.
Have you got any Christmas jokes for us, Mark? while I'm
You want a
stirring?
Christmas
Yeah, I
joke?
love a Christmas joke.
When we're stirring it. Okay, here we are. We've got a few Christmas jokes lined up for you throughout the afternoon. Here's my best one. What should we go for? Why don't you ever see Santa in hospital?
I don't know. Why don't you ever see Santa in hospital?
Because he has private health care.
Oh, but okay, we're going to add in, so you've mixed in your egg, and hopefully you haven't scrambled it. We're going to mix our flour and spices and bicarb.
So you've got flour, spices and bicarb
So
all going into a mix?
that, yep. And again, the more you can mix it, the cooler the mixture becomes. And that's the challenge of this, that we want a nice cold dough to work with. So we're going to mix it up in our saucepan, and then we're going to put it back in our bowl, and we're going to put
So how's it supposed to look once it's done?
a bit floury.
Shall I hold it up to the camera a bit so people can see?
Yeah, you need to mix it first.
Oh, I'll just show people how it's going so they can see.
Really well done, yeah.
See if yours is looking a bit like this. Look, so you should be mixing it up so it sort of starts to look like a nice, the flour all mixed in, all nice and smooth. What? I could be Nigella.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so hang on, keep mixing.
Put some effort in. Give it a good
So how's your mixing going back at home? Are you getting it all mixed together?
Brilliant.
Have you got the hot ingredients hopefully melted and off the stove and cooled down, and hopefully now you've added your egg, and then you've added the dry mix that we prepared, and then you should get a really nice mixture. Is that about ready?
That looks good.
That looks a bit like this. Look, this is it's amazing. Look, it should look a bit like that. So just kind of slides off the spoon, nice and smooth.
Brilliant.
And looks like a great little gingerbread dough. Oh, this is
the dough.
A dough. It's benne. It's benne.
I think Mark's getting carried away.
Okay.
Okay, when you've mixed it, I'm going to put mine back in my cold bowl because I want this dough. Can you stop hanging? Thanks. I want this dough to cool as quickly as possible. Okay, so I'm going to not leave it in the saucepan. I'm going to put it back in my bowl. Old skills. Faster. Oh.
Ah, put some on me. Should have put an apron on. Right.
Brilliant.
Hang on, not in yet.
Keep going.
Nearly there.
Quite a messy chef, aren't you?
Nearly there.
There we go. Perfect.
That looks amazing. Do you want me to show people what it looks like?
Okay.
You can see it a bit more clearly in the silver top. Is that alright?
So you've got your dough in your bowl, and then you need to find somewhere cold to put this. So either you could put it in the fridge, or if you've got room in your freezer, which is probably full of frozen broccoli and healthy things, get rid of the veg because no one's going to eat that anyway. Get this in the freezer so that it can be cooling quickly. Or if you haven't got space in either of your fridge or freezer, then open a window and try and put this by the cool air by a window. So I'm going for the freezer. I've got rid of our frozen broccoli and made space. So I'm going to go and put that in there.
We've missed something before you do that.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, you're going to have to taste test.
No, because it's hot. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to go to the freezer.
You've got to try it. Make sure it tastes good and it is ready. It tastes really good.
So while one of you puts this in the freezer or the fridge or by a window with a cool breeze, just clear a space. What's next, Mark?
Well, why don't I tell a few jokes while you're doing that?
Perfect.
Do you want another Christmas joke? I tell you what, if any of you can do better than my Christmas jokes, then message me and send them to me, and we'll read some of them out at our all-age service, our online live stream all-age service next Sunday. But let me give you another joke. How about this? How did Mary and Joseph know Jesus' weight when he was born? They had a weigh in a manger. Yeah, that's very good.
That's
good. That one.
That's a terrible one.
Why is it getting harder to buy Advent calendars?
Why is it getting harder to buy Advent calendars?
Because their days are numbered.
Oh.
Come on, you can't do better than these. If you think you can do better, send me your jokes and I'll read them out in one of our live stream services coming up.
Okay, while your dough is cooling down, hopefully, really quickly, we are going to see what Mary has got up to. So remember,
the next bit of the story.
Yeah, it was a dramatic start.
Excellent.
The angel flew in. She's going to have a baby. Should we see what's happened?
Let's see what happens
Okay,
next. Do we need a scene?
We're going to get the scene. Oh. Here it comes. There we go. Okay.
So we've got Joseph here. Is that Mary? She looks a bit different.
Can you see what's happened to Mary? Something has changed. Oh, let me bring her a bit closer. Let me give you a side-on view. Oh my goodness, she has a very neat bump.
She's got a bump.
It was just as the angel said. She was pregnant. She's going to have a baby, and here she is with her beautiful bump.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Good old Mary. Very exciting for her.
Brilliant. And there should be a donkey.
So we need a donkey. Here we are. I've got the donkey. The donkey comes in on the scene now. Here we go. So who needs a donkey?
Mary needs a donkey because
she
is heavily pregnant and they're on a journey somewhere. So that would be a bit much to ask her to walk.
Where are they on a journey to?
They are heading to Bethlehem. I think we've got a sign.
Have we?
Yeah, we have.
I've got a sign here. There we are. That's where they're heading to, Bethlehem. And why are they going to Bethlehem?
Well, they're heading to Bethlehem because the king wants everybody counted and they've got to go back to the town that they were born in, so their hometown. So they're heading back to Bethlehem.
Okay.
Mary's on a donkey, although is the donkey mentioned?
Do you know what? The donkey is never actually mentioned in the Bible, but we always kind of assume that there was probably a donkey because it was about, 80, 90, maybe 100 miles, and that would have been a long way for a lady who was pregnant to walk. So here we are. Do we need to put it on the donkey? Here we go. Off she goes.
That donkey is doing
Off
well.
she goes to Bethlehem. Look at this.
Bethlehem.
And don't forget Joseph. He's coming too.
Keep up, Joseph. Fantastic.
Brilliant. And they've arrived.
So this is not really what Mary had in mind, I imagine. When the angel, wait there. When the angel, here she comes, appeared to her and told her she was going to have a baby and it's going to be God's son. And here she is in Bethlehem, and you know what? They couldn't find anywhere to stay. Joseph had not pre-booked.
Did not.
They did not have a room available.
Oh, what a letdown.
And they ended up in a stable.
That must have been pretty stinky. Well, like with all the animals and stuff?
Like with the itchy, scratchy straw, with the stinky, pooey animals.
Here's a sheep.
Mary.
We've got a cow. We've got a dog. We've got plenty of animals here, people. We've got plenty of animals.
I think we could put him up higher because he likes curling up.
Good.
Perfect.
So they're in this stable with all those animals.
Wait there, I've got more animals.
There's more animals.
We've got a pig, oink oink. We've got the cow, and we've got another cow. I'm not sure if you can see those. Let me move them back a bit. There we go. So they're in the stable. Mary's about to give birth. She's in the scratchy straw. She's with the stinky animals, and it is not what she imagined when the angel appeared and told her she was going to have the son. Oh, that is the angel music. Perfect.
Wow, well this is an incredible scene, and I think probably the next bit is going to be even more amazing for us to hear.
It is. So shall we, I think that we've made our dough is cooling, we know that Mary, what the angel said to Mary has come true, she's about to have a baby, she's gone back to Bethlehem, and she's in a stable with the animals about to give birth.
Should we come back to the story in a minute?
It's game time.
It's game time? Why do we need to play a game?
Because we love a game, and it's Christmas and the dough isn't cold yet.
So let's play a bit of a game in order to give us a little bit more time, because it's really important that the dough it's important that the dough is going to be really nice and cool, so that we can roll it out and make the gingerbread men. So we just need to give it a little bit longer. Hopefully you've got it in your fridge or in your freezer or by an open window just to cool. So we're giving it a little bit longer, and we're going to play a game. What game should we play?
We are going to play pick a baby name, guess the baby name, because Mary's about to have a baby. I don't know if you have waited for a baby brother or sister to be born, or someone in the family is having a baby, and it's all about what is the baby going to be called. So we're going to play guess the baby name. So we're going to use our Christmas letters.
Okay, so tell me what they have to do.
So you have to shout out a baby name that begins with the letter that I show you. So it's going to spell out Christmas. So the first one is C.
And it can be a boy's name or a girl's name?
It can be a boy's name, a girl's name. Shout it out as loud as you can. So a name that begins with C. You get 1 point for a name if you can think of one that starts with that letter, and you get 2 points if they can think of a name that you don't get. So Mark's going to play along. Can you show us your...
So I will write down the names as we go next to each of the letters, And if you get a name that I don't get, then you get double points, 2 points for each one.
Perfect. Are we ready to play? We're only going to have about 5 seconds for you to shout out. So,
Okay.
The first letter is C. Shout out your baby names for C. Go, go, go. Are you ready, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, so 1 point for getting your baby name, 2 points if you didn't get...
If you got one that wasn't Carol. I thought I'd go Christmas
Very
Eve for the
good.
first
I see what
one.
you've done
I'd
there.
go Christmas
I think
Eve.
you've given that a lot of thought.
So if you got a name beginning with C that wasn't Carol, you get 2 points. If you also went for Carol, you only get 1 point.
Nice. I went for Christine, but I didn't write it down. 2 points for me. Okay, the next one is H. Baby name beginning with H. Shout it out. See if you can get a different one to your brothers or sisters or your mum and dad or your grown-up helper. Have you shouted one out? Perfect.
1 point if you got a name beginning with H. 2 points if you got a name that isn't Henry, is what I went for. So 2 points if you went for one that isn't Henry.
Okay, next letter is R. Shout out your name beginning with R.
Oh, this is a tricky
Can
one.
you all think of a different one from somebody in your household?
This is tricky. Okay, I've got one.
Quick, Mark. 3, 2, 1. Mark, what did you go for?
I went for Rhoda. If you said a name beginning with R that wasn't Rhoda, 2 points. If you also said Rhoda, just 1 point. Do keep your scores as you go, so keep a tally of your scores and we'll see who got the most.
What's the maximum points of 18?
18 available.
Yeah. Okay, next letter. I. Slightly trickier one. I. Shout out your name. Can you think of one? 3, 2, 1. Mark got.
I've gone for Ivan.
Or Ivan.
Or Ivan, depending on which country it's from.
Perfect.
So well done, 2 points or 1 point. I imagine most people would have got 2 points there. Although I's quite a tricky one to get a name for.
I would have gone Ivy.
Ivy maybe,
For
nice.
Christmas,
Christmassy again.
see?
Very good.
Okay, the next one is S. Shout out your name.
I don't know if this counts as a baby
Okay.
name really, what I've gone for, but I've gone for it anyway.
Okay, what did Mark get?
Did you all get a name beginning with S? I have gone for Santa.
Oh, I think that's 0 points because that's not a baby name, is it?
Well, Santa was a baby once, so it definitely counts.
Okay.
Okay, what's next?
I'd like to know if anyone else got Santa. Yeah. Okay, the next letter is T. Shout out your names. Have you got a different one to those people in your family? Mark went for
Tom.
Tom.
It's my brother's name.
Nice.
I went for
Bit
Tom.
of a family link. Fantastic. How are your point scoring going? Just going to give you a minute to see if you've can tot up your points, Mark.
How many have we got? We've got 3 more names to go.
Okay, so M, a baby name beginning with M. Are you ready? I think we can predict what Mark's going for because he's going down the Christmas line.
I've gone for Mary. Hey.
Fantastic.
So if you'd said a name that wasn't Mary beginning with M, 2 points. If you also said Mary, just 1 point.
Okay. A, any name beginning with A. Maybe it's your own name, maybe you've got someone in the family with a name beginning with A, maybe somebody at school, maybe a neighbour. Mark, what did you go for?
Alfie for me.
Fantastic.
Don't forget to be keeping your scores. 2 points if you said a name beginning with A that wasn't Alfie. And we've got one more, haven't we? One more letter to go.
One more letter, and it's another S. So see if you can think of a different one to the first S that you came up with. So can you think of somebody that isn't Santa beginning with S? Are you ready?
This has to be different from the first one, does
Yes.
it? Okay, well I went this time for Stuart, which is the name of my other brother. I didn't want to feel left out. Exactly.
Very good, they'll be very pleased.
So tot up your score. I remember 2 points if you got a name that wasn't the same that I got, 1 point if you did get the same name as me, and see how many you got. Once you know your score, well, shout it out nice and loud at the screen, tell us how many you got, and you can compare in your households if you're watching this with others, see who got the most points. But we play this game because actually names are going to be really important, and we're going to see in a minute from the story that the names given to the baby that Mary was going to give birth to are going to be really, really important. But we'll come to that in a minute, shall we?
We will. Do you know what your name means?
Mark.
Oh, that's good. We haven't
Mark.
practiced this bit.
Apparently it means man from Mars, but I don't know how true that is.
Genius.
What does yours mean?
Sarah means princess.
So I'm a man
Happy
from
with
Mars
that.
and you're a princess.
Yeah. It's a winning combo.
Do any of you at home know what your names mean? Maybe sort of ask your mums and dads if you're not sure. Maybe they chose your name because it meant something special. Maybe they just chose it because they really liked it. But ask your mums and dads, see if they know what your name means. Do you think the dough will be cool yet?
Is that what's next on the running
Well,
plan?
I think so. I hope it's going to be cool because next we're going to need to roll out our dough and cut it to make the figures that are going to go into the oven. So you might want to at this point go and get your dough out of the oven. The fridge.
Fridge or freezer.
Fridge or the freezer.
The cooling first.
And you'll need lots of flour at this point as well because it might be a little bit sticky. So you need lots of flour on the table. You might even want some on your hands as you roll it out.
You definitely want some on your hands.
Cool. And you need the cookie cutters.
Perfect. Okay, I'll go and get ours and see. Let's see if it's cool enough.
Right, I'm going to get the flour ready. I'm going to tell another joke first. Go on, you go and get the dough.
Do you want to grab our mat as well? Because we might need that.
Okay, cool. Right, I've no idea what mat Sarah means. I'll just let her grab it in a minute. But I'm going to tell another joke. Here we are. What do you get if you cross Santa with a duck? A Christmas quacker. Of course you do. Of course you do. Did I tell this one? Did I say, what did Adam say the day before Christmas? Did I tell that one earlier?
No.
What did Adam say the day before Christmas?
What did Adam say the day before Christmas?
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's a terrible
Genius.
one.
What was the mat you wanted me to get?
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Okay, we need flour, do we?
So we need flour. Oh, my dough's looking like it might have cooled enough. So if you went for the freezer option, hopefully your dough, like mine, is looking a bit like this. And it's not completely runny anymore, it's starting to firm up. So if it's too warm still, it will be a bit runny and sticky. That's okay, you just need extra flour so that you don't end up in a sticky mess. So you need to get your spoon and kind of start to try and scrape it out of your bowl. I'm going to make a bit more room for Mark because he does like to spread out. Okay.
And we're going to need our rolling pin at this point as well.
Are you doing this bit then?
Oh, I can do this bit if you want.
Perfect.
Do you want to do it?
No, you can go for it.
I'm going to do this bit.
Okay, you need the flour close by.
Yeah.
You need to put the flour on the pin and you need flour on your hands.
Okay.
So get your grown up to get the dough. When you've got your dough ready, you're going to tip it out onto a floured surface. Okay, if you don't use enough flour, you will end up with a sticky mess. So let's see if we can do it. You know, I'm just delaying.
And then what are we doing as we
once you've
start to
got
roll
it
it out?
all out, really, you just want to play with it a little bit to start with. So you want to kind of
nice.
flip it over, get it all floury basically.
Whoa, it's quite
Exactly. You might want to sprinkle some flour on it. Keep going. More flour.
More flour.
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm going for the flour. Right.
Do you want lots of flour on it?
So roll it up.
Roll it up.
Yeah, make a ball. Put some more flour under where it was.
Okay.
That's it. So just have a little bit of a play with it. It feels really satisfying.
It's really nice, the dough.
Stretchy.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And as you play with it, you're helping to cool it down again. So just
so now we roll it out, do we?
Keep rolling it up and
More
add
rolling.
flour so that it doesn't stick. Grab some more flour. When I made these, I ended up with so much flour on them, but it didn't seem to affect the cookie at the end.
So the flour just helps to keep it
Yeah,
awesome.
roll it up again. So do that a few more times, a bit more flour underneath.
So I hope you're getting on okay. We're doing this home, sort of just roll the dough up a lot, get lots of flour on it, and you should just feel it sort of cooling down nicely so it'll be ready and a little less sticky when it comes to rolling it out, so you'll be able to cut your shapes. I think we need to start rolling.
Okay, you need flour on your pin.
It'll just fall off. Oh, there we go. Okay.
So don't press too hard.
How
it's very
thick
gentle.
do you want it?
Just so about like a penny sort of thickness. So it's kind of up to you. If you like a crisp biscuit, then you might want to go thinner. If you kind of like a nice chunky biscuit, then you can go thicker. It's really up to you.
Okay, well, I think that's probably all right. Can you just see that there on the camera? If I move the bits out of the way, hopefully you can see it. So I've got a nice sort of flat bit there that I've rolled out.
Then you need more flour over the top, otherwise the cutters will stick. It's all about the flour. Just keep layering on the flour. And
then what we're going to do now is we're going to cut out. So if you've got some cutting shapes, maybe some people, so you can make gingerbread men. But it doesn't really matter what shape you make. The important thing is that you get to make some gingerbread that's tasty. Of course, we're going to make some people because we're using our gingerbread people to tell the nativity story. If you want to make some people and you don't have a particular shape that looks like that, then you can use just 2 circles. Again, if you haven't got circle cutters, just grab anything like a couple of different sized glasses or cups, and you just want to make a small circle and a big circle, and then we can push them together. So let's do this, shall we? How many are we going to make?
You need, first of all, you do need a little pile of flour by the side of you, so
okay.
More flour, and then you want to dip your cutters into the flour, and then just go for it.
So what do you do once you push the cutter?
So once you push that in, then if it's cool enough, you should be able to get it out. But I would, or you can peel it, or you can cut them all first and then peel it all off at the end.
Okay.
So have some fun trying to cut out your characters.
If you wiggle it a little, it works well. Yeah.
You'll need a baking tray, so either grease your baking tray or put some paper on it, and then just lift up your cookies and start putting them on your tray. The dough does spread when it cooks, so if you don't want them all joined up in one big blob, make sure you spread them out on the tray. Now this is where you see if you've got enough flour underneath.
Yeah, it works.
Yay! Perfect.
There we are,
and
got
then
one
you
on.
can slightly rearrange them once they're on the tray.
Let me just show you what to do if you haven't got cookie cutters. So just take either sort of 2 circular ones, one big or one small, make a big circle and cut that out. Again, once you've cut it, just wiggle it a bit. Okay, and once you've got the big circle, you just put the big circle then onto your tray, and then get a little circle. Again, cut that out, wiggle that a bit. And when you place your little circle on, just place it so it overlaps with the big circle a little bit. And then when that cooks, hopefully it will look like a person.
Can you see that? Yeah.
Great. How many should we make? Should we make some more?
Let's keep going. So just keep going. You can then roll it up again and then roll it out again once you've used it. So just keep.
So I will use a little cutter here for a little person. Again, it really works once you cut it, just to sort of shake it around a bit to separate it from the rest of the dough.
Nice.
And we'll add that one on. But I'll set this red one, that's fun.
Look, can I do this baby one?
Do a baby one.
I like the baby one. Cool. This was it's like our baby Jesus one.
Okay, so how are you getting on with that? Have you sort of managed to cut some out and got some on your baking tray? Because the next thing to do is going to be to put them in the oven and to get cooking them.
So should we do one roll up?
No, I think we need to get them in the oven now.
Okay.
So again, you'll have plenty of mixture at home, so if you want to roll it up again and sort of, again, you can come back to it if you want and make lots over the afternoon, you can. But we're going to get ours in the oven so that we can get them cooked.
Perfect.
Shall I put them in?
Yeah, so you need a grown-up to do the oven bits.
So they might look a little bit like this, out on your baking tray, and get them in the oven, ready to cook.
Timer.
Well, how long do they need?
So I reckon they need about 7 minutes. So we're going to set a timer for 7 minutes.
They are in the oven.
We're going to have some fun making some shapes with this.
Right, so I'll set the timer for 7 minutes.
You might want to have a little tidy up at this point, so just gather up all your bits, maybe wipe down your surface, because once they're out the oven and cool, we're going to be icing them. So you might just want to take a minute to have a bit of a tidy up.
Great, good. Well, we've still got a bit of dough left. I'm actually going to keep this, and after those ones are ready, later this afternoon, I'm going to make some more shapes and make some more gingerbread for us to enjoy this week. So nice. You might want to do the same, and it'll be give it a little bit of extra time to cool down as well. So great, good. Should we have another joke?
Oh, sure.
Do you want another Christmas joke?
Love a joke.
I think I might have run out. Let's see if I've got any other good Christmas jokes. What haven't I had?
I've got one.
Oh, go on then.
What do snowmen wear on their heads?
I don't know. What do snowmen wear on their heads?
Ice caps.
Genius. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well.
I wasn't feeling the love for that joke.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, our timer's counting down, so hopefully you'll hear it when it goes off in about 6 minutes. I hope you've got your gingerbread in the oven and they're cooking. Are we going to make some icing so that we can decorate them? So I don't know if you saw the ones that we held up earlier or the ones that we were using for Joseph and Mary, but we had put some icing on ours, and if you want to again ice your gingerbread to not only make them look good, but also to make them extra tasty, then Sarah's going to, we've kind of left our Italian names behind, haven't we?
We have. Mine was quite long. I know
Spaghetti.
It ended with spaghetti.
Sara Spaghetti is going to make some bellissimo icing to go on top of it.
So you may be really organised and have already bought some icing pens. In that case, then this bit's really easy because you just got to open the packet. You might have bought some of the ready roll icing, so you'll need icing sugar like we did with the flour. So you need to put icing sugar down and roll that out, and you can cut things. And then, but we're going to make our icing. So you can see from here, we put some white icing on them first, so that then our colours would stand out. So you can do it however you like, basically. So you basically need, this isn't very scientific, lots of icing sugar and a little bit of water.
Okay.
There's no weighing.
Okay. So you just basically mix the two together, do you?
Yeah. So we're going to put in lots of icing sugar.
Whoa, that is a lot.
Like that. So I'll show you what I've got. So I've kind of heaped in my icing sugar, and then I'm just going to put a little splash of water.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see me doing this.
That is a little splash. I guess you can always add a little bit more if you need more.
And then I'm going to grab a spoon, and this is quite fun because sometimes it kind of, I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to worry too much about the explosion. I'm going to get mixing. That's looking a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. If you've put too much water in and it's kind of really runny and you're like, it's just going to run off the biscuits, then just add more icing sugar. So it's a bit trial and error.
Do you want me to taste it?
No, I don't.
Just to check
Not yet, not yet.
It's going all right.
But you want it nice and thick so it kind of sits on the biscuit rather than just kind of running off the biscuit.
I'm looking at the timer. Ours have been in. If you put yours in the oven at the same time as ours, then they've been in now for 3.5 minutes. So halfway there to being cooked.
One tiny bit more of water, literally a drop. I probably put too much in there, but
no, that's looking good, I think.
Do you want to have a go at mixing? You want to get all the lumps out.
Oh, it's hard work, isn't it?
What with that and the dough mixing, it's like a workout.
Is that about right, or do you need more water?
No, that's good.
Do you want it nice and thick?
Yeah, you want it thicker than you think.
But let me show you how thick it is.
Yeah, like a big lump.
Like it stays on the spoon, it's that thick. Or it's slowly, here it goes. So that's how thick it is. So just, that's about right, is it?
Yeah, once you've given that, it's a bit lumpy. You need to give it a bit more of a mix.
Oh man, I thought it was looking good.
It's good.
It is looking good. No.
You're almost at the tasting stage.
Oh, let me taste it.
I bet
That tastes like icing sugar, I can confirm.
it's tasting sweet.
Right, what do we do next?
Okay, so your icing is ready.
Should we put that to one side?
We're going to put that to one side.
Yep.
And
should we do the next bit of the talk? Or should we wait for our biscuits to come out?
The buzzer's going to go off, so I think we should wait.
Wait, get our cookies out in a minute.
Because then when the cookies come out, what you need to do is you need to put them on a cooling rack. Do you want to grab our cooling rack?
Yep. Where is it?
It's on the oven.
That's it.
So we've got our cooling rack.
Yep.
And then you're going to put your cookies on your cooling rack, and then we're going to open our window and put them by the window to cool down. So it's all about cooling again.
Okay.
So we've cooled the dough, we've cooked the dough, we've got to cool it again. So
and why do we need to cool them quickly?
Because then we can ice them.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So you need the cookies or the gingerbread nice and cool, ready to add the icing on top so it doesn't all melt away. Again, if you want to sort of wait and ice them later in the afternoon, then of course you can do that, but we're going to try and cool ours in just a moment so that we can ice them. So I will open the window. Okay, let me check. Can I check, see how they're getting on?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Oh, I've got a joke. Can I give you a joke?
Oh. Are they supposed to spread out quite a bit?
Yeah, I did say that. They do spread. So you do have to spread them out, but we didn't really.
Anyway, one more minute and they'll be ready. So
I've got a joke. Yeah. What happened to the man who stole an advent calendar?
So we've had this one already, haven't we?
Have we? Was I doing something else? Oh, it's a beautiful moment.
Okay, here's a similar joke.
Okay.
What do you call the kitchen utensil that you use to strain your Christmas Brussels sprouts?
Oh my goodness. I've got it. A calendar.
An advent colander.
Oh.
Yeah, genius. Very, very good. Very, very good. Well, while we're just waiting for the gingerbread to finish cooking, they're nearly ready. Let me tell you that over the coming days, beginning on the 1st of December for Advent, we're going to be launching our online virtual Advent calendar. And different members of the church have recorded very short videos just of them opening a door and something behind it about the real meaning of Christmas. So don't miss out on those. They're going to be going live at 7 o'clock each day throughout Advent, and they should be a lot of fun as we learn about the real meaning of Christmas. There's the alarm. 7 minutes is up. Should we get it out in the oven?
I have a horrible feeling ours are just going to be one giant big thing.
Where's the oven gloves?
Oven gloves.
So don't forget, very important to either get your grown-up helper to do this, or they can get you the oven gloves ready to get them out of the oven. Whoa! These are looking good, my friend. These are looking good.
So you need to
get our hot mat again.
So make sure your grown-up helps you with that because it's really, really hot. The tray's hot and the biscuits are hot. So your grown-up needs to help you with that. You need like a spatula-y thing, a slidey thing.
So you want to, after you've got them out of the oven, you want to get them straight onto the wire.
Well, you might just leave them a second just to harden slightly.
Okay.
In fact, I've got a genius trick. So if you put your cooling rack, you can't hold it up, it's hot. And then if you're on paper, you can just slide the whole thing onto your cooling rack.
And if not, then maybe just leave them to cool a little bit before putting them onto the rack, and they should be fine. Now, ours are really spread out quite a lot. I don't know how yours have done, but let me just hold them up and you can see.
They're holding hands.
Yeah, they're spread out quite a lot, but I think they're going to taste very good. So I hope yours is looking good, having got it out of the oven. I'm going to put ours by the open window so they get an opportunity to cool down quickly.
And you might want to put your hot baking tray over in the sink so that you don't burn yourself on it. That's really for our benefit as well, so we don't burn ourselves. Perfect. Okay, is that window open wide?
It is indeed.
Perfect.
Yeah, we will let them cool for a moment. Should we have the last bit of the story?
Oh yes.
Let's have the last bit of the story. So we'll get our scene out and we'll see which of our gingerbread nativity figures are going to help us to tell the last bit of the story.
Okay.
So we left it off with Mary and Joseph being told that the only space for them in Bethlehem was in a stable with all the animals. And so here they are with Mary about to give birth. Actually, there's something different about Mary.
Oh yes, let's have a look. She's back in her stripy pinafore and she's given birth. Woo-hoo!
She's given birth. Well, where's the baby?
Oh, I think he needs to be flown in.
Baby Jesus.
Joseph's worn out, he's fallen over. It's been a hard night for him. Oh, and Mary, there we go.
Baby Jesus has been born to Mary and Joseph in the stable in Bethlehem. Look, there he is. They've even already got him a baby grow with the letter J on it. Look at that. Here he is in the manger, in the stable. Do you want to give a round of applause? This is great news. So
well, the thing though, that whenever a baby is born, the first thing everybody wants to know is what did they call it? So what did they call this baby?
Well, do any of you know at home? Do you know what name they gave to him? Maybe on the front of his baby grow, the letter is a little bit of a clue, or maybe you can remember the message that angel gave to Mary right back at the beginning of our story. Do you remember it? They were to give him the name, shout it out at home if you know it. They were to give him the name Jesus. But you know, Jesus was actually told, this baby was told he was going to have two names. And the name Jesus we're very familiar with, But the other name, well, we're not quite so used to hearing so much. So one name was Jesus, but does anyone know what the second name they were told to give him?
Can you give us a clue?
It begins with I.
Oh.
It's not Ivy or Ivan
Nice.
or Izzy. It's actually Emmanuel. They were told to give him the name Emmanuel. What does the name Emmanuel mean?
So the name Emmanuel, let me just show you Emmanuel. So here's our Emmanuel. This was one
Got
of...
that on gingerbread as well. So, genius.
Baby Jesus was to be called Emmanuel. And Emmanuel, I'm not sure if you can see that, I think the dog's blocking him, means God with us. And that is hugely exciting because this Christmas story tells us, I'm just going to block Bethlehem, that God can always be with us because of this Christmas baby, because of Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. And God hasn't just let us kind of be here on our own. He came to us 2,000 years ago and he is still with us today because of this baby Jesus. So that name is really important. God hasn't just left us, he is with us because of this baby. And he is still with us today because of what Jesus did.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? So there he is, this little baby born into the world 2,000 years ago to Mary and Joseph in a stable in Bethlehem. He had the name Jesus, which means he saves, because he will save his people from their sins. And he also had another name, Emmanuel, which means God with us, because God came into our world as the person of Jesus. So that we can know that he is with us always in all that we do.
And is that kind of with us, me and you, Mark, or with everyone?
Yeah, of course, with everyone.
Yeah, shall we pile everyone in then? Okay, this is where we're going crazy with our gingerbread people. So this is a message for everyone. Let's add in.
Well, you want to put lots of other people in the stable.
Let's pile them in.
All made out of gingerbread.
We've had great fun this week making and decorating. Woohoo! Oh, that's a tiny one at the back. We've got all sorts of people joining our nativity scene. I've got some stars. Can't quite stick them up. Stars in the night sky. God with us. Come for everyone. Fantastic. There's a little baby one. Oh, Mary's kind of like overwhelmed. She's having a little lie down. She's so excited.
I used to seeing a nativity scene like this. Usually you've got the shepherds and the wise men, and now we've got everyone coming as we just show you how Jesus came into the world as God's gift to us all. Well, should we see if the biscuits are ready to us?
Yes, let's do that. Oh, I don't want to move this because I love that scene with everybody with baby Jesus. Let's go.
Great. Well, if you want to find your biscuits, your gingerbread, and see if it's cool. It may not be really cool yet, but hopefully it's cool enough. And oh yeah, look, these are looking good. Let me show you up one of ours. Look how much this one's spread out. But look, that's looking all right, isn't it? How is yours looking at home? I hope it's looking good. This one here has ended up a little bit of a funny shape. And one that we made out of two circles. Well, you're going to have to be, if you've done the same and yours looks a little bit like this, you might have to be creative with the icing in order to make it look like an exciting person and one of the nativity characters. You know, you might want to, as you decorate them, one of them could be Mary, one Joseph, one Jesus, maybe the angel, so that you too can tell the nativity story, the story of that first Christmas with the gingerbread that you have made.
I'm just going to do one little quick dollop. Ours are still a little bit warm, so you might want to leave yours for a bit. But
so how do they ice them? They put the white icing on, and then what do they do after that?
Well, you can just really do it however you like. We went for white icing, and then we were going to go for icing pens, like we did our nativity scene. But you can really do it however you want. If you've got chocolate buttons to put on as buttons, you can go for that. Raisins, go crazy.
And make some nice smiley faces on them and make them looking good. Brilliant, good. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed joining us for our bake-along. I hope that some of the gingerbread that you've made is looking amazing. You know, I hope it tastes good as well.
Well, you've done all the taste tests. I'm going to do the taste test.
I am doing the taste test.
That's good.
That is good. That is very good.
It's nice warm, actually. Very good. Can't speak now. Perfect.
I'm still eating. Well, we really hope that you've enjoyed making the gingerbread. We hope that yours is nice and tasty. We hope that you've learnt something about the story of God sending his son Jesus into the world as we've told it using nativity figures. Now, if you have made some nativity figures, we'd love you to send us a photo of your gingerbread so that we can see how you've got on, and if you're happy for us to do so, we'll show some of them in our live stream service on Sunday. As I said earlier, if you think you can do better than Sarah Spaghetti and Marco Italiano with your Christmas jokes, then do message me with your jokes and I'll include them again in our live stream service on Sunday. And we really want you to also be able to have a great time during Advent and the run up to Christmas. We really hope it's such a meaningful time for you and a great opportunity to learn all about God's gift of his son to the world. And so one thing that we've done at St John's is different members of the church have put together these short Advent videos where they'll each be opening a door in their home. And as we watch the videos, we'll be able to see what's behind the door as they reveal something about their favourite part of the Christmas story. So don't miss out on those. They're going to go live on our YouTube channel and on our church website at 7 o'clock every morning. So why not over breakfast each morning in Advent? Sit down, either by yourself or those you live with, watch the video, and why not say a prayer together as you use it to prepare yourself for celebrating Christmas once again this year. We'll enjoy eating your gingerbread.
We will.
Thank you very much from us, and we hope that Advent is such a special time for you, and let us wish you a very, very happy Christmas. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.